So guys, tonight has been a huge day for The Witcher. Netflix have revealed so many details. They've confirmed season 3, given us a new trailer, shown off a couple clips, and so much more. They held some sort of Comic-Con style event today, and there's just so much to cover. So in this video I am going to be brief, but I can do individual videos going into more details if you want. But let's break this all down. So The Witcher over on Netflix has been renewed for a third season. Season 3 is happening, which is no surprise because this show is a big hit. Last month they released a brand new anime film called Nightmare of the Wolf, which focuses on Vesemir, and I highly recommend you watch that. It'll add a lot to your experience for season 2. And they've confirmed a brand new anime film, and also a kids show, and they've also shown more of Blood Origin. Yeah, Netflix are milking The Witcher, no surprise. They've spent a lot of money on this show, they want to get money back. And even though you can criticise Netflix for milking the product, we can also argue they've got a lot of faith in this show. Like, if season 2 hits huge numbers, they might confirm season 4, and perhaps the entire saga. But for now, let's focus on season 2, let's slow down. Let's talk about some of these new scenes. Most of the new footage is definitely from episode 1, which focuses on the short story A Grain of Truth, which is basically a dark and twisted version of Beauty and the Beast. And this is the first time we get a proper look at one of the main characters in the short story, Novellin, the Beast, played by none other than Game of Thrones' Tormund, Christopher Heavdew. This short story does happen during the time period of The Last Wish. It's in the Last Wish short story book, but it never made it onto the show. But it's going to get reworked for season 2, but this time with one major change. Ciri. She's there, unlike in the books. Like, Geralt's got a lot on his plate here. He's got Novellin, the Bruxa, an enchanted mansion, and now he's got Ciri to take care of. Like, this adds a whole new dynamic to the story, and it also gives Ciri the chance to see Geralt in action, because the short story Sword of Destiny was cut from the first season, so we've not really had that moment yet. And the writers have decided to add that into this short story, into A Grain of Truth. And A Grain of Truth is one of my favourite short stories, so I'm quite protective of it. I want it to be as good as the book. And if I'm being honest, one of the main reasons to why I like it is a large portion of what was shown in this clip. The banter between Geralt and Novellin. Like, this happens for several pages in the book, and it seems like it's going to happen for quite a bit on the show, and I like that. And I also like how they've added Ciri into the conversation. Novellin questions Geralt about if Ciri knows what's in store for her, as his child of surprise. Normally Witchers take the boys that are earned through the Law of Surprise to Kaer Morhen to become mutated into new Witchers. But if you saw Nightmare of the Wolf, you know they can no longer do that, as the secrets were lost. We know, and we've also seen clips of Ciri being trained like a Witcher, but she will not undergo the Trial of the Grasses. Some call her the Witcher Girl, but she doesn't have the powers or the abilities of a Witcher like Geralt. But she has her own powers, through the Elder Blood, which are far more unique, far more powerful. And even though she doesn't have Witcher reflexes and Witcher abilities, she has some skill with a blade, which we will find out. So yeah, this all looks good to me. I kind of dig Novellin's design as well. And Christopher Heavdew is going to be brilliant, I know that. We can hear his voice, but at the same time, his acting and all the makeup and visual effects kind of make you get lost in the character. But I will admit, the tusks did take a bit to get used to for me. But I've got a strong feeling I'm going to love this story, just like in the books. And the second clip is also about A Grain of Truth, but it happens later in the night, when Geralt wakes up Ciri. This is when Geralt's figured most of it out. He's discovered the truth, and Novellin isn't the only beast. In fact, the beauty of this story is the Bruxa, a powerful vampire-like creature. And Geralt knows exactly how dangerous these are, because, look, he's drugging himself up on Witcher potions. He's kind of concerned here, he's stressed out. He knows his life's on the line, but also Ciri's. So this fight's going to be even harder than in the book. Because at this stage, Ciri, she's been for a lot, she can kind of take care of herself, but she can't fight, she hasn't been trained with a sword, she doesn't understand her powers, so they're no good. But in fact, nobody really understands her powers, not even Geralt. Like, this Ciri that we see now is going to be very different than the one you know from the games, or even later in the books. she hasn't gone through all her experiences yet. And I find a good way to figure out the timeline is by the clothes the characters are wearing. Like, this timeline is going to be much more linear than Season 1. And if you look closely, Ciri's in a party dress, and Geralt's in a Season 1 outfit that he had in Episode 8. So this is on the road to Kaer Morhen in the very first episode. And we know Geralt and Ciri will get new outfits for Season 2. So, like I said, you can roughly tell the timeline through that. But most of the stuff shown so far is early on. Probably in the first 3 episodes, if that. Most of Episode 1, some of Episode 2 at Kaer Morhen, maybe 3, maybe a couple clips later, but they're focusing about early on right now. But it's obvious Season 2's opening up with a big hit just like Season 1. And even though I've just bigged up a grain of truth, in all honesty, it's Kaer Morhen where it's at. That's what I'm most hyped for. And this trailer is showing us the first proper look at Kim Bodnia as Vesemir, Geralt's father figure and the man who trained him as a Witcher. And he looks like he's straight out of The Witcher 3. I've always told you guys the show's adapting the books, it's telling the book story, but the games are a huge influence. You can tell that through Henry Cavill's portrayal as Geralt, and some of the character design choices, like the costumes. And Vesemir, yep, he's straight out of The Witcher 3. And that's no surprise because that game was such a huge hit, sold so many copies, and is the reason why the show has been made. It's the reason I picked up the books. And if this show is still as popular, by the end we might even go beyond the books. Not sure if they'll go into the game territory because of copyright issues, but it would be exciting. But yeah, Kaer Morhen, definitely the biggest moment in the show so far for me. Ciri's Witcher training and developing relationships with not only Geralt, but also Uncle Vesemir and the other Witchers, Eskel, Lambert and Cohen. Like, at this stage, nobody's sure about Ciri, especially once she has one of her episodes and her powers are displayed. Like, Geralt wants to do what's right by Ciri, and he's accepted that she is his destiny, but honestly, he hasn't a clue what to do. He doesn't have a clue how to look after a young girl, and he doesn't have a clue how to look after someone as special and as powerful as her, who carries the Elder Blood. That's where he needs some female help. But that's where the problems kick in, because Yennefer has trouble of her own. She was decisive in the victory against Nilfgaard, but she's been captured by Frangilla and some Nilfgaardian soldiers. But it seems like they're all ambushed by Filavandriel, the king of the elves. And now both sorceresses, Yennefer and Frangilla, are prisoners, and they need to work together, put their differences aside, work together to get out of this situation, to escape. And I quite like that dynamic, because they've been kind of set up as rivals so far. But yeah, this extended trailer is mostly Season 1, but a lot of Season 2 as well. It's kind of recapping where all the characters were by the end of Season 1, and where they're going to be going at the beginning of Season 2. Yennefer's out of the picture right now. She's got Nilfgaard and the elves to worry about. Jaskier's in his own trouble as well. And then there's Geralt and Ciri, who are together, but they're not on that relationship level yet that we know from the books and the games. Like, the characters are all over the place right now, but eventually the family will come together. Don't worry. But yeah, guys, make sure you post your thoughts on all the brand new Witcher information, all the brand new scenes. Like, there's a lot to unpack here, so I kind of just wanted to make a quick reaction based on what I've seen. Give you guys a quick update on the news. But I can make more videos if you want, maybe going into individual scenes and all that. But there's just so much to talk about, and I didn't want to make a 40 minute video. But definitely let me know how you're feeling about the new footage. I'm so hyped for Season 2, and this has just made it even better for me. So yeah, guys, more Witcher videos coming very soon. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you soon.